I know you most likely feel super comfortable while you're watching this video, but is that a good thing? Back in the day, it was really common for kids to be working in coal mines and sweatshops. People would go off and fight in wars, famine was a real possibility, and we were all pretty much scared of having our skin burned off by just a random nuke exploding
All
God
that
knows
know
where.
this. No matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover.
But somewhere between the suffragette movement and Trump launching his own cryptocurrency, something happened. What's up, you guys? It's your boy, I swear I'm trying, and are we getting too comfortable? When was the last time you did something for your own personal growth or to help someone else? As humans, we always tend to just want more and more, but eventually it feels like that fire in us just burns out. Maybe I'm alone in this, but it feels like when you're 18, you're so excited to just start working, making money, chase your dreams, and live your life. But then when you finally go and get that first check and you open it up, you get hit with the hardest slap in your face you've ever felt in your entire life: taxes. When we're young, we're constantly motivated and pushed to find out who we actually are and what we actually like. However, as time goes on, the loving and caring voices of our mothers are replaced by the disgruntled and angry voices of our bosses and teachers. They tell us to color inside the lines and do exactly as we're told. All the while, ironically, they teach us about great thinkers and great minds that changed and shaped the world's beliefs. But we can't really blame ourselves at the end of the day, because historically, look at what happens to people that actually do try to challenge the status quo. Originality is just starting to feel like a distant thought more than anything else. Seconds mesh together with minutes, and hours start feeling like minutes as well. It's like if someone pressed the fast forward button on a remote control in our own lives. And then, as we start seeing our lives play out, we realize that we have no idea how to press the pause button. As time goes on, we fall more and more complacent. Sadly, we fall into our routines. After years and years of being fed this rhetoric that we always have to be inside the lines, we start to believe it. We stop trying to figure out what we believe our purpose is, and we fall into the routine of who we think we are. Not only that, but in this day and age, we're fed countless and countless things that we just really don't need. The constant buying and purchasing of little gadgets and trinkets leave us eternally content and miserable at the same time. We're the people that harnessed electricity, that created the iPhone, that stepped on the moon. I don't know if maybe I've just lost my mind, but I swear that the lack of security and lack of constant dopamine rushes made the people back in the day lock in just a little bit harder.
If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Frederick Douglass.
Now, as many things in life, whatever we're discussing right now has been discussed previously as well. It's very easy to feel isolated and alone with whatever you're feeling at the time. But I would bet that if we go back in the past and look in the history books, we most likely will find a historical figure that felt the same way you do right now. Supposedly, Julius Caesar wept when he saw a statue of Alexander the Great, and he started contemplating what little he had done in his life compared to Alexander the Great. And honestly, I can relate with that. I mean, Alexander the Great was 25 years old. He had already conquered most of the world. Here I am at 27, talking about Alexander the Great 2,000 years after he died. That is insane. Many people, including myself, would argue that his notoriety has made him immortal in a sense. It is important to note that these people that I'm talking about will normally live up to 35 or 40 years old. So, relatively speaking, Alexander the Great had actually already lived 66% of his life. In contrast with someone who was born nowadays, 66% of their life is actually around 48 years old, which is still pretty crazy if you really think about it. Now, I'm not telling you that we should all go and start overthrowing our governments and conquering countries. But what I am here to tell you is that most of us end up trading our time, our youth, and even the fire within us just for a couple small luxuries. Instead of striving to fulfill our motivations and our dreams in life, we mute ourselves just so we can get higher paychecks and more recognition. And like many things in life, the first step is just to become conscious of this. Being too comfortable is definitely a huge detriment to our personal growth and even to society as a whole. There's a reason that the saying goes, idle hands are a devil's plaything.
You have one bucket that holds 2 gallons and another bucket that holds 5 gallons. How many buckets do you have?
2?
Thank you.
Now, I want to be real for a second. I definitely have done some of these things. I've definitely copied trends just to get a little bit more likes and dopamine rush so I could feel popular, trading out my originality for just likes and shares. But at the end of the day, nobody is perfect. We can only strive to become better human beings. So, with that being said, here's some of the things that I do just to shake myself up a little bit in life so I don't get too comfortable as time passes on. The first thing I want to mention before we start is that you have to understand that not everything has to be done at once. Small, consistent changes lead to insane growth over time, believe it or not. Imagine if you spend 35 or 40 minutes every single day learning a new skill. If you're organized, you would most likely become proficient at whatever it is you're trying to do in around a year. And we all know how quick that year can actually pass by. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. When we see everything through the same lens, it's really hard to see any difference whatsoever. If you've ever gone on a long-form diet or exercise kick, you would know that some days you feel like a Greek god or goddess, and then other days you just feel completely fat. You might wake up one day and feel like absolute garbage, when in reality, you're getting ripped and you're getting that Gymshark ass you've always wanted to as well. So, thanks to that, number one is change your perspective. It's very common to see slow progress as no progress, so we have to change our viewpoints. We can do this in many ways, shapes, or forms, but an easy thing to do is to just change your environment. Go to different places. I'll be honest with you, I fucking hate going out in the sun, but sometimes I have to force myself to do minor changes in my life to just feel different every once in a while. And that can also help you with your creativity a little bit or just overall happiness. How am I supposed to script an original video every single week from the same place? We have to switch it up a little. And another thing I love to do is to just find things that scare you and try them. And chill, I don't mean jumping out of planes or to go fighting the Ukraine-Russia war. But if you're making videos, for example, and you're scared to try out that new color grade or shot or edit, go ahead and do it. Or if you're in sales, for example, maybe you can try a new pitch or a different approach with your client. Just do something different in your life, okay? Don't overcomplicate it. I know this might sound psychotic, but when I used to work in sales, the routine was absolutely brutal. You do the same thing every day, multiple times a day, for hours and hours on end, with no stop. I started to feel like a passerby in my day-to-day. I would literally, and this is not a joke, I would literally take off my shoes while driving to work, or I would leave one shoe on, one shoe off, and drive barefoot to work. And I used to do that just so I could feel a little bit different in the morning and change my routine up just a little bit. And as dumb as it may sound, it definitely helped me. I understand that we might all be looking for that happy place and that comfort zone. And I definitely think that we all do deserve it, and we all should have our little place, person, or moment that makes us relax and feel refreshed. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that nobody becomes the greatest person that they can be by not striving and working for what they actually want. Keep chipping away at that lifelong dream. Even if you don't achieve 100% of it, you still won't hate yourself at the end of your life. Peace.
I seen you through the process. I don't really want no problems. Niggas ain't got no merit. Niggas ain't got no posture. Round here